Hey guys, it's Akiko. It is Thursday afternoon where I am in the world. This is another day of my mini course. I'm just going to wait a second to see if there's anyone who wanted to join live, and then I will go ahead and get started. Hey Adriana, I hope you're having a good day. I'm on, this is day 5 of the mini course. I'm just giving people a minute. Anyone who wanted to join. I'll just go ahead and get started and do my introduction. If you are watching this, if you have joined other days of this course, thank you so much, and thanks for returning to do yet another circuit of this process with me and really for yourselves. I am learning a lot through the course of putting this on, and I am high in the country. Spotty reception. Good day though. Good day. I hope it's nice where you are, Adriana. It's so muggy here in the city. Yes, sorry, I got sidetracked there. If you have been participating, thank you so much. I'm really enjoying doing this with people. I really appreciate all the comments and all of the feedback, and I'm glad that people are finding this valuable and useful. And if this is your first day, that's fantastic. And if you don't know me or my business, my name is Akiko Takagi, and I have a coaching practice that is focusing on helping women in 4 main areas. They are finding love after divorce, developing a kinder and more loving relationship with their partner or with their adult family members, leaving or changing their corporate jobs, and finally developing a loving and kinder relationship to themselves, often with specific focus on the body, with the intention of showing up in the world more confidently. These are the things that have positively changed my life as an adult, and I'm dedicated to sharing what's helped me along my way with the journey, what I found useful, and also to filling in any gaps that I now know would have been helpful along the way to getting to where I am. And obviously some of these things I'm continuing on, this continual work for me. If these are areas of your life that you might like some support with, please don't hesitate to reach out and chat. If you wanted to do some more research about me, please do check out my website, which is akikotakagi.ca. You can see some of my credentials and just find out a little bit more about me. I also think that following this Instagram account will give you a good sense of who I am as well. As I mentioned, this is day 5 of a 7-day mini course I'm doing to help people to find more clarity in their life, as well as a concrete and practical path forward. Today we are focusing on your romantic life, including your sex life, and this is also day 38 of 100 days that I'm going live on Instagram. You can find out more about that project by watching any previous videos from day 1 to 33. I'm super excited to be here. This is a great topic, and I'm excited to dive in. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's do that. I invite you just to kind of prepare. Again, if this is your first time, if you're returning, thank you, and this is Old Hat, but you'll want to grab something to write with and on, close your door, get into a space where you can be uninterrupted. This typically goes for about 25 to 30 minutes. We're going to start with a centering exercise, then a tool to clear your mind and get resourceful. Then we'll move specifically into a tool to gain clarity around your romantic life and a path forward. And we'll go from there. So let's get started by slowing things down. I think that it's surprising for all of us kind of how much, what the impact of just taking a few moments pause can be. It really helps. It will help you to move from, whatever you were doing before you joined me into this space, being fully present and resourceful. And feedback I'm getting from people, and I know this is true for myself as well, it's just a really great pause in the afternoon. Yeah, let's do that. Shut everything off except for me. I will watch the time. This is a gift I want to give you to focus entirely on you. We'll pause for 3 minutes. If you're comfortable, close your eyes, sit comfortably in your chair, breathe how you like. I have a Tibetan bowl that I will sound that will signify the start of the 3 minutes. Then just, pause, tune into you. And when you hear the sound of the bowl again, you will know that it's time to open your eyes and to participate. So let's start with that pause. Welcome back to this present moment, or welcome to the present moment, I should say. Open your eyes, get your pen or pencil. I think something that I haven't mentioned yet is when you're setting up how you're going to take notes over the next course of little mini exercises, please make sure that you keep one page blank that you can return to, and then have another section of your notes where you have multiple pages and you can write as much as you want. So as I said, grab your writing utensil and what you're going to write down, and I want you to write any thoughts that have come up for you during that pause, anything that's really present for you now. Let this just flow. This is a clearing tool. Some people call it a brain dump. What you write down doesn't need to make sense. It can be random words, it can be feelings, sensations, anything. It can be something you want to remember for later. You of course can return to this, read it over, and pull out anything that's relevant. But for right now, don't worry about making it make sense. Just jot it all down. Just imagine if you very gently, took your head and tipped it forward, and all of the tangled, competing, any messy thoughts that you had came spilling out onto the paper. So we're going to take 2 minutes to do this. Again, I'll watch the clock and just allow yourself to dump all your thoughts out onto the page. Please go ahead. Okay, perfect. That's 2 minutes. Hopefully you've been able to clear your mind out onto the page. Just take a deep breath. Maybe shake out your hand, shake out your shoulders. The next tool I'm going to give you is to help you gain clarity in your romantic life, including your sex life. The tool is in the form of a question, and I want you to think of this question or this tool akin to an actual tool, like a physical object that you might use. In this case, I am thinking of a flashlight. So as a tool, when you turn it on, obviously it helps you to see things in the dark. It helps you to identify, you might sense something there, but you can't tell. Maybe there's something behind that dresser or something behind. And so your flashlight is helping you to see that. And then also it serves the very practical purpose of helping you not to trip over or bump into things. So in this case, I want you to imagine that you are using this flashlight to see your thoughts and feelings. And of course, as you're doing this, I want you to take lots of notes and make observations. This exercise or this part of the circuit will take 3 minutes. And today I'm going to give you 2 questions. The first one's a multi-part question, and I think it's helpful just to set up your page before we get into the question. So if you can turn to a blank page, divide the page in half so you've got like 2 sections, and then divide the page into 3. So basically you're going to end up with 6 rectangles on your page. On the top of the page, on the left-hand side, I want you to write romantic life, and on the top, on the right-hand side, write sex life, and then along the left-hand side, on the first layer, on the first page break there, I want you to write 5 years, in the middle section 10 years, and in the bottom section 15 years. So I'll just give you a second, hopefully that's clear, to get that set up. I'm sure it's clear, but I'll just give you an illustration. Okay, that's not overly even, but you just want to have these 6 boxes and write romantic life, sex life, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Okay, so let's move into the first tool. Flip on your flashlight, and what you're going to examine is, I want you to think about your sex life and your romantic life over the last year. And now I want you to think about what, if the next 5 years, 10 years, and 15 years were exactly the same, what would that be like? What would be good about it? What would be not good about it? What would that feel like? So again, if you just reflect back for a moment on what your romantic life and including your sex life has been for the last year, and then I want you to imagine whatever that's been like, it's going to be the same over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years, and over the next 15 years, if nothing else changed, if it was basically the same. What would be good about that? What would be not good about that? How would it feel? Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write on that. Really sort of associate into your feelings and take as many notes as you can. And obviously, use the one side of the page that's titled romantic life to think about your romantic life, and then you can dig deeper if it feels natural to you, to be more specific about your sex life too, because often those two are connected, but sometimes, there are differences. So go ahead, 2 minutes on the clock, and I will mind the time. So you've got about 30 seconds left on this question, and as a way to close it out, I just invite you to think, how would you feel at the end of the 5 year, the 10 year, and the 15-year mark if everything had remained the same? Okay, that's 2 minutes for that question. So the second question is closely related, but it's a little more general. It's a bit of a a higher view, a 3,000-foot view, so a little simpler, and you don't need to divide the page. You can just write what comes to you. The second question is, when you look now at both your romantic life and your sex life, what is really good as it is today? What do you really appreciate today, and what needs to change? So when you look at your romantic life and your sex life, what is really good as it is today, and what needs to change? And remember, you're the only one who's going to read this, so I invite you to be as honest with yourself as you have ever been. So on the clock, 1 minute, I'll watch the time. Starting now. All right, amazing. Come back to me now. You're doing so well. Take a deep breath. Let's just take a minute and ground. I want to associate, make sure we're not getting too stuck in our heads. So I want you to think of 3 words that describe how you feel. Don't need to provide any detail or explanation, just the first 3 words that come to you about how you're feeling right now, and maybe just write those somewhere on the note paper to help you ground. And as you're doing that, I will just talk a bit about the next circuit that we're going to do together. So the next circuit is really a review and a summary of all of the notes that you just took in the last exercise. So I want you to go through everything. Presumably you may have been, writing in point form. You're writing quickly, so maybe some of the sentences trailed off and you need to go back and really make clear. Maybe some of the bullet points you need to expand on, but just go through it and make sure that you have a really good understanding of what you meant and what you said in all of those notes, everything you saw with that flashlight. And then I want you to then turn to that one page that I said that I asked you to keep aside, the blank page, and I want you to write down in 1 sentence or 2 at the most a summary of what is most important about what you've discovered in the previous exercise. So what is most important, what is most relevant, what stands out to you the most from all of those notes, and write that down in 1 or 2 sentences. Please don't just circle or highlight what seems important. Really, we want a clean copy on a separate piece of paper, what stands out as most important or most interesting. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that. Again, of course, I will watch the clock. Go ahead and start now. Got just over 30 seconds left on the clock. If you haven't started writing your 1 or 2 sentences on the blank page, please start that now. All right, come back to me, come back to me. That's 2 minutes. That's fantastic. By now, you may be feeling a little bit frustrated by the timing. This is meant to be intense, and it's meant to be, I keep referring to it as a circuit, and that's really just the best analogy that I can come up with. And when you're circuit training to build muscle, you do a series of repetitive exercises, and you kind of move around in a circuit, and you do the circuit multiple times, or I don't know, however many times, but they're timed exercises and you move rapidly through them. So that's really what this is about. It's helping, the timing is specifically designed and it's intentional to help you to go deep quickly, and also to help you pull out what is practical, because I want you to come away from this course with new understanding, but also some practical actions to take. So I also want you to know, now that you have done the work that you just did and you've identified those most important things, your brain is on the case. It is already processing, creating ideas and plans related to what you've uncovered. So we have just 2 more things we're going to do before we're done for today. The next exercise in our circuit is, I invite you to reread your 1 or 2 sentences, whatever is those sentences on the blank page that is most important. And I want you to identify one thing that you're going to do. This is an action. This is the practical path forward in relation to that most important, most interesting, most relevant sentence. So you're going to identify one action you're going to take. Don't lose your intensity now. Write down as many details about that, when you're going to do it, where you'll be when you do it. If there are other things, maybe, a resource or a tool that you need to purchase, or someone that you need to ask for help, who that's going to be. Most importantly, I want you to write down what it is you're going to do. And second, most importantly, why you have chosen this action, what it is going to achieve for you, why it's important, I guess in the context of why, how it relates to what you discovered in the other exercise. So again, this is a 2-minute exercise. Please begin now. We've got just under 30 seconds left. Any last details, anything that is really going to help you to support yourself to take this action? great. That's 2 minutes. Congratulations. You have made it through the time part of the circuit. You have been amazing. There are no more timers for today. I just want to bring this workshop and this session to a close. In order to do that, as I've done with all of the other previous 4 days, I invite you to take your learnings from this and associate it with a positive feeling. And the best way I know to do that is just to identify something you're grateful for. So just take a second, identify something that you're grateful for. Make it something that, it has real meaning, that is true. You can feel sort of glowing from the inside out. And just as you're enjoying that, I'll talk a little bit about the next steps. I want you to keep that separate page that you have now written the 1 or 2 sentences that are the most intriguing, most important, relevant things that you pulled from all the notes that you took. And and also on that page should be your action step, your next action step. So I want you to take that and keep it in a place where you're going to be able to see it and read it every day between now and when the action is completed. So again, I want you to keep that paper there. I want you to see it and read it every day between now and when the action is completed. And that's it for today. I will, as soon as I can after this, create a post letting people know that this video is up for them to go and see. And if you would like a little bit of extra support in helping yourself to be accountable to your action, I invite you to, in the comment section of that post or any other post, write down the actions that you're taking. If that's not comfortable, you can just simply write, I'm going to take action. Or what some people have been doing, and I think is great, is just messaging me directly. And again, you don't need to explain anything or justify or provide details. Really, just the action of affirming that you are going to take action will help you to take the action. And with that, day 5 is complete. Thank you so much.